Hello, my computer daters. Why is Twitch not working? Why is the app not working? Come on. If I threaten it, will that make it go faster? I have my computer fixing stick here and I'm beating it with it, but it's not doing anything. There we go. Just the threat of the stick is often enough. We're going to do some emulation tonight before we get down to business. No, not that one. Although, Big PMU, which is really what it's called, by the way, Big Penis Emulator, works with VR now, so you can play the only supported Jaguar VR game as it would have appeared in 1997. Ain't that some shit? I discovered recently that an iconic game, Shadow of the Beast, which was like the killer app for Amigas for a long time, has a superior PC Engine CD-ROM version. Not because the hardware is better, but because Sega fucked up the Genesis port. Also because it has CD audio, obviously. And cutscenes. Really good PC Engine cutscenes that aren't FMV. You'll see what I mean. Look at that high color artwork. The music slaps too. The OST is classic. Look at this cutscene. Isn't this better than the shit fucking Sega CD FMV? It aged way better. As one does. You just morph into a cloud. Just being a Chad vibes. And then all of a sudden... you transmogrify into a gross alien. Like District 9. This got slammed in reviews for feeling like a tech demo. You know why it feels like a tech demo? It was a tech demo. So there's not a lot going on. Also, that's not real parallax scrolling. Don't be fooled. This is PC Engine. Those trees are sprites. One Punch Man. One punch! It's like the whole gimmick was just the sheer amount of parallax scrolling, which it was difficult for PC Engine to replicate. They did so by DMCA or whatever interrupts, like the way NES did it, dividing the screen into horizontal strips and scrolling them independently. Which, I mean, could also have been done with line scrolling floors like in Street Fighter. They couldn't do that underground though. Underground they don't have parallax scrolling. Look at that fucking baller loading animation though. Look at how swole he is. He's out of breath, though. Needs more cardio. So, Underground doesn't have parallax scrolling backgrounds. Boo. That's the only thing Genesis has over this. Genesis has less colors. Unfortunately, has a bungled port, so it runs poorly on Genesis with slowdown. There's not a good reason for that. It's not because the PC Engine is so amazing. It's just because, as fate would have it, the Genesis port was fucked up a little bit. It shouldn't have been. Genesis was more than up to the task of replicating an Amiga 500 game. They just didn't do it right. PC Engine, through just flukes of fate like that, wound up with a bunch of the best versions of games on it, just by doing a better job than the competition at porting. Like Street Fighter 2 is way better than it has any right to be on an 8-bit platform. Not that the Genesis or SNES versions were bad, but no one expected the PC Engine version to be as good as it was. So as you can see, the combat's really basic. It's a really basic game. The whole value proposition was just the graphics, which is true of a lot of Amiga games. I don't mean to disrespect Amiga bros. I am an Amiga bro. I love Amiga. Good Amiga memories, but 90% of the fun of being an Amiga owner was just being like, wow, the graphics. Because the games were very flashy, but usually very shallow. This is like the combat from Kung Fu on NES. There's fucking nothing to it. Sometimes they take a swing at you. You can't really block. There's a projectile attack later. It is cool though. It's better than tanky bullet sponge enemies. Fuck you, give me that! Now I got the cum blast. I guess I killed him, I can't tell. But you can see in the statue's gradients that PC Engine had more colors than Genesis. Not that much more. It was technically capable of 256, but it never used all of those colors. Which some Super Nintendo games did. But even the SNES often didn't use all the colors available to it. It was usually in between the two. Very often over 100 and something on-screen colors though, which is much better than Genesis. Genesis had just barely too few to where it really hurt the aesthetics, in my opinion. Like look at the gradients in that tree log trunk. I'm trying to find the word I wanted. I'm right from the illuminated area to the dark area. On Genesis, that'd be like 4 colors. It matters. It's the same deal with the Wonder Boy and Monster Land port, which is a great game. And the only thing you're missing on the PC Engine version is parallax scrolling, which whoop-de-fucking do. The colors look better. CD. Although the Genesis version of that game did have a bumpin' soundtrack, so the fact that the soundtrack is CD on PC Engine doesn't automatically make it better necessarily. So now I have to beat the boss and open the door at the end. Look at that smooth running animation. Except when you climb, they didn't rotoscope the climbing animation. So when you transition to climbing, there's also no animation for turning around. You turn into this weird, shriveled up looking grandpa thing. It was obviously done by hand instead of rotoscoped. Fuck. Fuck yeah. Just wondering how that was even possible. I lost my ability. It's unfathomable to Zoomies, who've only never known 3D graphics, but the overworld animation running left and right with all those scrolling layers was a big wah wah wee wah moment. Wow, graphics! with good reason too. That looked amazing at one time. They really adapted the soundtrack much better in this one than a lot of these games. A lot of them have totally original soundtracks for the CD versions when they didn't need to. This just adapted the chiptune. Look at that fucking baller dead skeleton thing. That's the power of the PC Engine. Speaking of which, there's a FPGA Turbo Duo now that has HDMI output for $250, which I'm not buying because I can't afford that. It's too rich for my blood. I want it though. I wish I was rich. +4 strength. What do I need that for? I'm already, I guess for bosses. Snail, you betrayed me too? He's got a turning around animation. I guess because he doesn't have any movement frames. It's gross. Weirdly sexual. I think that's the exit shaft to our right. See, a lot of so what enemies. A lot of bullshit. Things that pop out of nowhere for no reason. Like this thing. A lot of enemy variety, but for what? They all die in one hit. Cool graphics. It's just a cool game. It's got a lot of flashy stuff. I'm gonna go back and see what's on the right. Actually, there's a potion up there. I gotta get that. Practically a fucking ladder former. There's a drill up there. Why are there rocket engines underground? Is it even useful to ask? Oh fuck, snakes! Why always? Ground snakes. Oh fuck. This is getting me nowhere. I don't have what I need to hurt him. I need some other item or attack. This signs can't control me because I can't read. Anyway. A lot of good CD games. A lot of good CD games. That's why I'm so tempted to get that FPGA, but I'm not gonna do it. I said I wouldn't get the Atari, and then I got it, so I'm not gonna get this one. Where's Fawcett armor? It's actually a better deal than the OG console, because the OG console needs all the system cards to play the different types of CD-ROM game. It doesn't run Super Graphics games by itself. You would need a dedicated Super Graphics for that. It doesn't have... you would need it to be recapped or capacited. It doesn't have HDMI output. The FPGA has all that stuff built in on a system on a chip. Oh, fuck, I need money. I need to be a successful author. Pixel art animatics, Kino. It's like playing an anime back then. Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality. I didn't time it perfectly. Open your eyes, look up to the sky and see. How fucking Kino? 8-bit CD-ROM Kino. And it did have an 8-bit CPU. I believe the graphics processor was 16-bit. I understand completely. Yes. I see. Uh-huh. 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 Oh, titties. Hope I don't get demonetized. Even the bull guy has nipples. Oh, fuck. That guy's from Gargoyles. Oh, the cutoff at the bottom. I guess that would be off the borders of the TV screen normally. I'm the big bad anime overlord. Nah, I'm evil. I'm evil, but also gay, and also thank you for your daily dose, Duck. Basic anime plot. This is what the CD-ROM gave you, is just unlimited storage space for stuff like this. Good stuff. Pixel art graphics. Fuck, my Pokemon cards were in there. Oh well. Can always get a new family. An unaccompanied young white female. Who the fuck are you? Oh, my dick is so dry. It's dry like sandpaper, dry like the Sahara. This is so long. Anyway, I'm skipping it. That's the blessing and the curse of CD-ROM. So this is Bionic Commando. I can jump in if I find grapple points, I can swing from stuff. It's got good background layers. Gotta admit, this for an 8-bit system, this does look way the fuck better than NES. A lot of that's just the bigger sprites and the color count. They could have spared some more walking frames for her, though. And she loses clothing, because of course she does, when she gets hit. I don't remember how much, but it's the Ghouls and Ghosts rules. Oh, she does get naked at the end, I forgot. But she also dies, so you gotta be a certain kind of guy to get excited. You can yell if you want. You can yell if you want to. You can leave your quiet friends behind. Because if friends don't yell, and if they don't yell, well, they're no friends of mine. Should I stream on YouTube? Seems like that gets way more views. Would I get a bigger... I don't think I could stream on my Hampshire channel. People would be like, what the fuck is this? I want to keep it separate. I wish you could transfer follower counts over. This life can't be that beautiful and easy. Oh no, my skimpy clothing! What will I, an anime girl, do without my fabric body coverings? I fucking exploded! He was full of dynamite the entire time. It explains everything. You gotta imagine being a 10-year-old Japanese boy, though. Your little baby carrot would get so fucking turgid seeing the sprite of an anime girl get naked. This creates a troubling association, though, that if you kill women, that they get naked and you become aroused. I don't think that's a good message to send to the youth of today. Fairy, come here. Oh, the fairies are naked, too. Everybody's naked. This is a horny game. But necessarily so, for the integrity of the narrative. Oh, fuck. Oh, this is so you can get... If you fall, you can get back. I appreciate that, I guess. Could stand more frames of animation for walking, though. You call yourself TurboGrafx 16. I don't expect 16 frames, but I expect more than like 3. Like 5 in total would have been fine. So that entire underground area is just in case you happen to fall down that narrow pit. That's really confusing. That little dipshit. The variable terrain, though, is impressive, though. We don't normally see that outside of Sonic games. It's a pretty sophisticated... Oh, line scrolling. Ooh. Yeah, I got a green nipple. I don't like the amount of blind leaps of faith you have to take, though, in this game. It's the downside of being zoomed in and having big sprites. Like, oh, I'm glad the skeleton from Castlevania who throws the axes got more work. Oh no, I'm in my undies. No, I'm naked. No, little boy outside the TV, don't nut to me. That's not good for your psychological development. Anyway. There's also... a really good version of... they call it the Dynastic Hero. I'm still not sure why they changed the name. Hudson Soft had their own parallel series of Wonder Boy games that was different from the ones that we got in Nintendo and Sega. It's me, your new waifu with giant fucking ears! I think she got her own game, though. Which was remastered on Switch. I think they should have kept the Japanese vocalist. This doesn't fit the game at all. That was my own saved game. Thank God for that. We got him. So I've been grinding enemies here to get better armor and weapons. I could have sworn there was a Sega CD version of this too, but I might be imagining things. I bought the spear. We'll plumb out. I bought everything they had. I guess it's time to hit the road. What I want is a sword so I can swing in an arc overhead. So this was still going strong in '93, huh? Compare this to Super Nintendo. It still holds up pretty favorably. It's like the bare minimum you could do for a 16-bit machine and have it be relatively future-proof, which makes it really funny that NEC shit their pants and released the Super Graphics because they were so threatened by parallax scrolling, like what Sega did with Mode 7. They were like, Mode 7 looks so good, no one's gonna buy our console if we don't have it, so they added it into the Sega CD, greatly increasing the cost. It was $300 in 1992. Or 3 money? That's right, I need the ocarina for this. The CD, it's crazy though to think that we incrementally improved graphics little by little, but then audio went from bleeps and bloops chiptunes to being the auditory equivalent of photorealistic in one giant leap to CD. You know what I mean? What's the audio equivalent of photorealism? Ear realism? Sound realism? You know what I mean? We immediately went from chiptunes to CD-ROM music in a single generational leap. Before we even had polygons. That's crazy to me. On an 8-bit machine, too. This is 8 bits. It doesn't look like it, but even Master System was also improving over NES, so it's not like there's only one tier of 8-bit performance. Those are some kind of bad-looking straw roofs, though. They could have put more colors. I think they just copied the Genesis assets for some of this. Oh yeah, you can go to the mushroom dimension. Phew, now I'm in fucking heaven. That's more like it. More shades in the background. Although I wouldn't be surprised if that was still a Genesis asset and they accomplished that on the Genesis using luminosity levels. I think Sabrina along, she's a great little helper. Oh, I have a fairy now. A little dude. Yeah, I think these are Genesis assets. With a little bit of polishing. But it's from a different palette, so it's gonna look a little slightly different. I bought everything you had. So they have a cult centering around a real goddess. How do I do this? What's good, Strata? Don't jinx it like that. What else can go wrong? You're asking for it. She has had great versions of lots of Sega games too. Can I? There we go. Where do I get the ocarina? I forget. I'm not going back there. There's a bitch getting over there. Did I really buy everything you had? I did. Get the fairy again. I killed your fairy. Sorry. You got plenty of them though. Artemis program moves forward in 2024. Although the manned landing got moved up from 2025 probably to 26 or 27. Yeah, Dragon's Trap was one of my favorite games of all time, so when I found out there was another one in that style, and only one more, and all the other Wonder Boys were different, obviously I had to play this one. I forget how to do Ocarina. I forget why I don't have that. Anyway, let's get to the real games for tonight. Madvent calendar 2023 came out. You know what that means. We're going to be taking a break from Under the Waves tonight. I should probably have made a note of that on the stream details. There we go. Madvent calendar comes out every Christmas. We're on number 4 now. That's a collection of games with a spoopy Christmas theme to it. With a cheerful zombie Santa girl mascot. What more could you want?
Not any more nerd.
What happened to the TV?
Gift is being passed.
Let me down, or I will burn this place to the ground.
Of course.
Oh, it's the Silent Hill 4 apartment. It is the Silent Hill 4 apartment.
If you're 1 cubic feet of meat, why do you bleed so much?
I am eternal.
An eternal pain in the butt.
Put me down.
Sorry, bud. Can't trust you to roam free.
I will gnaw on your kneecaps, you witch.
Remind me, why don't you keep Gifty in the sack anymore?
Little bastard ripped a hole in it somewhere. If I put it in, who knows where it'll end up. I don't want another New Spook City incident.
I suppose you will.
Sonia? Did you have someone over?
No, I've been so busy trying to catch up on all the games I missed while stuck in that arcade. Have you heard of this Final Fantasy game?
Which one?
Scully?
There's more than one.
Hey, Bitey. Sorry about your friend.
Huh?
The guy in your shower? I kinda skillberted into him.
That's okay. Don't worry about it.
Worry about it. My spawn are closing in.
You get that thing?
Yeah. Figured if I didn't take care of it, no one would.
I am my own master.
Did you at least take it up to the North Pole to get it fixed?
Gifty's from the North Pole?
Yeah, living meat is a cheaper Nautilus alternative to coal. But they're meant to be a minor nuisance, not apocalypse starters.
The end is nigh.
I don't know if I can afford a trip to the North Pole. I'm barely affording this dirty murder apartment.
It's Duke Nukem / Johnny
Mr.
Bravo.
Slocum?
Duke Spookum.
Sorry to hear about the election.
Don't worry about it. I was getting bored of that job anyway. Was thinking I could use a long vacation to clear my head. So I bought 6 tickets to the North Pole.
Why 6?
I don't know, but it's a better surprise present than last year.
I am the greatest gift you will ever receive.
Oh, Mr. Spookum. We actually need to get to the North Pole too. Could we come with?
Oh, that'd be great, but they're all sold out. I bought the last tickets.
We could use your extra ones.
Oh yeah, you could.
Awesome.
Cool. The train's about to leave. We should get going.
We could have gotten Gianni to do the voice of Duke. Why is it an anime intro?
Faced with these stars staring down, for one sec I'm not alone. With these tracks laid out, it's the only way this goes. On a meadow stage in which we are doomed to ride. When the tracks run out, there'll be nowhere left to hide. I can't do this alone, but with your help, I can take on the unknown. So will you follow me to the end of this dream?
Are they Naruto running? They are. Only one of them. Only one of them is.
Transform, we can try to repair this dreadful gift. Please just come with me for one last ride to enjoy what remains of what we cannot find.
I like how they made it. They did. It's an anime. She's a magical girl. No word of a lie. Let's see what the games are like, though. Oh, it's divided by train cars. RAVP 1. This seems familiar. Wasn't this in another collection? Yeah, this looks really familiar. Didn't we play this before? Is this a sequel to that one? This feels really familiar. They got the goatsy hands. Is that supposed to do that? I guess not. Anxiety audio. By the way, I'm receiving 7 books, my books, in the mail soon. 5 of them are signed copies. So I gotta sign those and send them back out so you can get them before Christmas. I get 2 personal copies this time. I'm not gonna be making a whole lot. There's only 12 orders in total. It's really my fault. I should have done a better job of communicating that we were doing pre-orders instead of the Indiegogo. I fucked myself. I really limited the distribution of what might maybe be my best book yet. We're trying to figure out if there's any way to make it I'm Stuck in Gay Baby Jail. So that orders placed on the storefront automatically translate into orders from the print-on-demand company. Let me through. So that it doesn't matter. It's just going to cost more per copy because it's print-on-demand instead of being printed in a big lot. I'm surprised they didn't already have it set up that way, though. It seems like that'd be a good option to have for some of their products. What is this? What is this? Is this a sled? What do I... Nope. Oh. Now I'm in a spooky graveyard. This is a sequel to the other one. It is different. Still got them Wolfenstein 3D goatsy hands, though. Who lives here? Or are these just tombs? Is this a town or a graveyard or both? Can't get rid of this, whatever it's for. I can't rip through here either. What was this supposed to do with this? Was this supposed to go somewhere? Is this a coffin? Is that what this is? What is this? I feel really good that we're back to spooper games, though. I always look forward to Madvent calendar. It's just a big drop of Spooperton games all at once, and it's a Christmas present in itself. Creators really make life bearable. It's art that we live for. This clearly goes somewhere else. I need to shave. Shit. What'd I do today? I got a haircut. I weigh fucking 5 pounds less. I got rid of all my floofy hair. I now have like an aggressive cop haircut, which is not helped by having a mustache. Look at like Omni-Man. I I got my heated suit back from the dry cleaner. They couldn't get... There's a stain that's from an accidental application of spray foam insulation. Long story. They couldn't get that out, but everything else is pristine. Looks nice and clean, which is good because it's just in time for serious fucking cold. Oh, it was a box. Damn, I'm so stupid and so sexy. How dare I have such perfectly sculpted cheeks? Audacious if you think about it. But you wouldn't think about it. Why would you? You ever see that viral photo of the mausoleum? It's like a collective tomb. It's above ground in a graveyard, but it's like 18 corpses in little drawers, like marble drawers. One of them's leaking. It ruptured because, as it turns out, corpses bloat as they decompose, and they release gases, and if it's in a hermetically sealed tomb, can rupture the seal. Consequently, one of the tombs was leaking corpse juice, or as I call it, corpse nectar. Does anyone dare drink of the corpse nectar, ambrosia of the living dead, which may or may not have psychedelic or intoxicating properties? Probably intoxicating and also lethal, considering it's a mixture of rancid blood and embalming fluid. I'm just imagining some kind of freak from the dark web, like convening with his buddies because there was a report of a leak of corpse nectar, just lapping it up, just kneeling next to the wall. Just frantically licking it up lest it go to waste. What's good, Hydra, I think. You know who I miss is Zacharoni, or I guess Samantha-roni now. We haven't seen that person in a while. Boy, did they turn a corner, though. It's funny how someone you've known for so long can completely change overnight. I still welcome all my fans, though. I'm happy to have them. There's got to be an item or something you get in this part of the level. Otherwise, they wouldn't have you carry the box. So whatever we do, it has to be some variation on tearing. Ripping and tearing. So, what am I not understanding here? We need to go to the church first for like a key or some shit. This is as fast as I can move. I want to say I'll be able to rip open the front door now that I have not the burden of the box. No? I can't. Very atmospheric. It doesn't do anything. So it indeed has to be something in that other area. I can jump. I can jump. How am I so feeble and this slow, but I can jump like 8 feet? Also, cool octagonal light penumbras. Who wants to hear a new story from me, which I published recently on my Substack? I've thought about that. How is that a thing that gets explored in Cyberpunk? Like, what if you had money for one really good implant but nothing else? Or like a superhero. I wrote a superhero in one of my stories who his only power is flight, so he can't really fight crime because he's not bulletproof. So instead, he's just like a courier, and people can ride on his back to get to as like a taxi service. That's how he makes his living, just flying people around in packages. But if you think about it, if all you could do is fly, you couldn't really do a lot with that. You really, at minimum, you have to be bulletproof and super strong. I also thought about unbalanced builds in D&D. I started a fantasy story about a troll, or half troll, who wants to be the hero, but he's hideously ugly, and nobody can get over how ugly he is. No matter how many good deeds he does, everyone's just like, wow, you're unbelievably ugly. It's like your face caught on fire and someone put it out with a screwdriver. And he wants to get powerful and defeat a necromancer so he can be loved by everybody in the land. But he's just not very strong either. But he buys a one half of a pair of boots of jumping, leaping boots of supernatural enchanted boots of leaping. But there's only one, so it's on discount. And armadillo armor, which rolls up into a ball. And he realizes he can just stick his leg out of the crack in the armor when he's rolled up in a ball. The one leg that has the jumping boot on it, and kick the ground, and the armor is enchanted, so that it's like vibranium. Everything bounces off of it, and it never loses momentum until he unrolls. So he basically just bounces around chambers, beating the shit out of stuff, and getting sick and throwing up afterwards. And this turns out to be such a stupid but OP strategy. He's able to kill every bad guy in the land using the same hack. This one weird trick that necromancers don't want you to know about. Yeah, there's the scene with his name's Fly Guy, by the way, the superhero I wrote about who can only fly, and he works for Super. It's like Uber, but with the U has the same umlaut over it. Super, which is a courier and human transportation service. And one of the main characters is a sexy superheroine who tries to keep dudes from creeping on her by putting a hot dog in her panties so they think she has a dick, but he can feel it on in the small of his back while she's riding him, and he's like, don't feel weird. I do the same thing. I stow a hot dog in my underpants too for a nutritionally dense emergency snack. But she suddenly gets really flustered and uncomfortable. It's a comedy, if you couldn't tell. Can't tell what I'm supposed to do. One of these opens up. I want to read my Space Chud story, okay? Please don't go away. I stole time, stole time. I stole time, stole time. I stole time, stole time. It's a motherfucking stole time. Friendship Station by Alex Bayman. What's a Glornock? Is it a kind of pet? The human Julia sailed past in my peripheral vision, emitting careful corrective puffs of pressurized gas from her EVA pack. Not exactly. They were our closest evolutionary cousin, as chimps are to humans, differing only in that our aristocracy selectively bred them to match our outer appearance in every respect. Her fumbling frustrated me. I wanted to reach out and position the component correctly for her, but of course I was forbidden to do so. For what purpose? Sex? I responded with a bout of laughter, which supposedly humans find terrifying. It's a cacophonous honking trumpeting noise, which they often compare to the calls of geese. No, for Herndegund's sake, no. There may be some degenerates among us who... never mind. But no, not for sex. They were bred to resemble us exactly in the same way your own aristocracy bred dogs, so they could be playmates for our children. I myself frolicked in the mud with Glornocks when I was little, making up names for each of them and devising simple arithmetical games to test their abilities. It helps our young to develop a theory of mind as they learn to distinguish between intellectually complete children of their own species and the superficially identical but mentally deficient Glornocks. By way of typical childhood games, which the Glornocks readily learn and enjoy, differences in aptitude and depth of thought become apparent. In this way we teach our young, in a very intuitive manner, the reality of biological inequality. I couldn't see Julia frown, but I felt it. There are very stark philosophical differences between our species, ones they consider very important, but which are, of course, irrelevant to us. Friendship Station, the structure presently being erected in low Earth orbit to commemorate first contact between humanity and my kind, was willfully misinterpreted, insofar as I could tell, by all humans I'd worked with as a tacit affirmation of their politics, despite everything we had said so far in contradiction of that. Following the initial burst of data towards our orbiting colony ship, we quickly surmised that the species we were dealing with were most of all incurable egotists. Their history was a series of letdowns wherein they first discovered there existed a universe outside of their planet, then that they weren't at the center of it, then that their own star didn't orbit their all-important planet, and then the final indignity, that the universe wasn't created for the purpose of having them in it. Much riotous honking resulted from that initial data burst. It was difficult at first to see how we could possibly cooperate towards productive ends with such creatures. Their most recent expression of egotism, and their least self-aware one yet, was the development of a philosophy that all sentient beings are absolutely identical with respect to their innate intellectual capacities. Naturally, they expected a more advanced alien race to enthusiastically affirm the correctness of what they felt was a tremendously enlightened perspective, one which flattered humanity even as it deprecated us. Imagine their dismay when instead we asked to meet Hitler. Not once, not twice, but a full 6 times we were asked to repeat or clarify that request. Once satisfied that they understood us correctly, we were informed that the 1936 Berlin Olympics broadcast, which first alerted us to the existence of humankind, no longer represented their society, and that a typical human lifespan is well under 100 solar years. We would only later come to fully appreciate the significance of that first bit. Their popular culture depicted aliens as intellectually advanced but physically deficient, a product of their own conceit that to excel in one area we would need, for some unspecified reason, to lack in others. Perhaps it was intended to offer comfort in that, at the very least, if it came to blows, they might outmuscle us. That was also the cause for much riotous honking in our ranks. Even their conception of non-human beings is self-flattering. They designed us before they met us, with the properties they felt we would need to have, such that we could at the same time be much more intelligent, which they correctly predicted, yet also inferior in crucial ways to humans and thus easily defeated. There was not only no point to military altercations between our species, something we were quick to communicate to their military authorities, but it was a profoundly charitable act that we even stopped, took notice of them, and agreed to the construction of this diplomatic embassy, if it could be called that. We are, in fact, an insult to their senses. Our craniums dwarf theirs, resembling most closely their African elephants, without the ears, tusks, or trunks. We share the most in common morphologically with mammals, except that all land-going animal life on our world has a hexapedal body plan. Our own bodies are laid out such that two muscular forelegs dominate and bear most of our weight, while two slender hind legs mostly help balance and prevent us from falling backwards. Our dominant forelimbs have 10 digits each, of which 4 on each pair are opposable. As you might imagine, this made us unappealing to the human public. Our image was not the elegant but impotent E.T. they hoped for. We are instead, by most descriptions, horrific space monsters. Despite every effort to gradually acclimate the average human to our appearance, the first formal meeting at their UN headquarters still resulted in a few faintings. One of our males, naked, could demolish their most fearsome war machines by directly grappling with it or even falling on top of it. Fully grown, each of us towered above an adult male human by roughly 2.5 times, 15 feet by their preferred metric, measured, of course, by the length of a human foot. This would have been acceptable, something at least possible to cope with, had we submissively affirmed their effete philosophical views. The entire planet seemed to be in the throes of this new worldview by the time we came upon it. They were prepared for us to reject their religion, which is commendable, but they were not prepared for us to reject the rest of their cultural mythology. We had responded to that initial burst of data with one of our own, and the more they reviewed the history of our planet, the more disturbed they became. In it, they recognized what they felt to be the worst qualities of their own species, things they were proud to have put behind them, which we indifferently asserted as correct and healthy. Everywhere in our correspondence that they assumed equality with us, we matter-of-factly stated otherwise. Their reaction to this steadily grew from surprise to indignation to bitter resentment. It colored our relations with them from World Contact Day forward and remains a sticking point in negotiations. They continually attempt to interface with our diplomats under the pretense of intellectual equality, enforcing this with the implied threat of violence if we don't humor them. So, in very recent years, and for their sake, we've begun to do so. To that end, we initiated construction from ores sourced from their asteroid field of a toroidal orbiting embassy intended to give them a project on which to cooperate with us, which would make them feel important. That's how I came to be hanging weightlessly with the human Julia in my EVA suit, installing thermal radiator panels on Friendship Station. It's named such because it implies something they dearly wish to believe, that they can be comrades in equal standing with our kind. No number of space stations of any size could ever achieve that, something I'm contractually prohibited from pointing out. Finally, she finished installing the last exterior thermal exchanger, and I was able to begin the process of alerting the station's growing AI that an additional 480 radiator panels were now available to it as a means of dumbing waste heat. I received a reply in the affirmative, and a few minutes later my thermal imager confirmed that the panels were heating up. This EVA took 4 hours, 11 minutes, nearly 3 times as long as was standard for a 2-person team, where person is appropriately defined as one of my species. She was quick to forgive her own mistakes, but I kept private record of them, submitted at the end of my reports, so my superiors could be reminded of what those of us personally involved with the Friendship Station project are being subjected to. Wherever I let these feelings become obvious to Julia, she reported them with much annoyance to her superiors as microaggressions, who in turn complained to my superiors, who were, very literally, the superiors of her superiors. Ultimately, no matter how firmly humans require their philosophically orthodox assumption of intellectual parity with my kind, Friendship Station exists only because of our superior technological know-how. The involvement of humans in its construction, the only purpose of the project, is something that occurred only by our consent and because we've gone to great lengths to make it possible for them to participate. For the most part, they behave as if oblivious to the magnanimity of this gesture, or express the view that they must have some exceptional quality which makes them deserving of it. My job is to endure that attitude while biting my tongues. That seems like the wrong message to send to kids, Julia commented. Another opinion I didn't ask for, but conversation with a human is more entertaining than silence. I've said as much before, one of those comments Julia complained about in her reports that my Overwatch official would just honk at. Recently, we'd both honked for hours while reading her complaints aloud, imagining her stern simian face and feelings of self-importance as she wrote them. It's necessary for good interspecies relations that they convincingly pretend to discipline me for those offenses. Those pretend disciplinary measures waste enough of my time that they eventually had the same effect on me as actual punishments, and that I took great care to avoid incurring them. This usually meant hanging uselessly in the void a couple dozen human feet away from her, patiently waiting for her to perform a procedure that I could do for her in a fraction of the time, except of course that it would defeat the purpose of the larger project. She has some redeeming qualities, a relative depth of knowledge concerning human gender politics. Somehow her entire degree centers around this, which I found relevant as they've only recently begun to identify and label a variety of intermediate genders and sexualities which went repressed until then. So far I've noticed no outwardly visible morphological indicators that humans aren't reproductively binary, but looks can be deceiving. To wit, our own gender complex was popularly misunderstood by the media. Sensationalist headlines read something like, "Bigoted space monsters have 4 genders and a revolting method of intercourse. In fact, we're fundamentally divided into sexually dimorphic males and females, as humans appear to be," though Julia frequently contests this notion, except that there are 2 chromosomal variations on each gender. The painful and laborious process whereby a submissive male performs first-stage fertilization of a dominant male sperm before implantation into the receptive female pair, where fertilization is completed, is still considered too psychologically disturbing for inclusion in their high school level biology classes. Reportedly, university level courses which fully explore the topic require one to sign a non-disclosure agreement and periodically speak with a counselor to assess possible impacts on emotional well-being. The graphic 3-dimensional animation we sent in response to their queries as to how we reproduce received in reply only the vehement demand that we send nothing more along those lines ever again. This provoked moderate honking and something like shrugging on our end. We do not shrug as such, but instead close one eye as when dormant to indicate apathy. Julia, having worked with you for almost 1 solar year as of today, I'm familiar enough with your beliefs to know that it's hypocritical of you to stand in judgment of the way we rear our young. That constitutes the imposition of your value system. She was taken aback by this, as I knew she would be. There are a handful of ways to provoke this response in her, all variations on the same theme. Accusations of cultural insensitivity. Humans all seem to share this rhetorical vulnerability. The average human will readily waste minutes or hours prostrating themselves before whoever made the accusation, assuring us of how inclusive, sensitive, and unbiased they are. It's great fun to watch. We do it frequently whenever we have a real live human to ourselves, until they get wise to why we're doing it and stop indulging us. Apparently a large part of that has to do with Hitler, the funny little figure we saw and heard in the first broadcast ever received from Earth. Our interest in him stemmed primarily from the fact that his political and biological philosophy closely mirrors our own. We achieved cultural unity by a series of wars which eliminated less capable subspecies, with the post-war period involving the organized repopulation of each targeted continent with our own kind. Humans, by comparison, have an emotionally driven notion of achieving cultural unity through the suppression of competition. This requires suppressing public knowledge of innate differences in capacity between the 12 or so genetically distinct varieties of human we could identify, even denying that such categories have a basis in genetics, despite their own forensic scientists routinely determining the race of violent crime suspects by gene sequencing samples of bodily fluids found at the scene. 2 and 2 must never equal 4, under threat of becoming a social pariah and untouchable, unemployable non-person. Very effective in its own way, although at the same time sufficiently burdensome for humans to have accomplished nothing in space apart from their own minuscule orbital outposts and equally modest lunar presence. It was only in this context that I was able to fully understand the religious significance Hitler has for them. He was the basis for this new worldview they all seemed to operate within, even while renouncing him. Their definition of good was everything un-Hitler-like, and bad was anything even arguably in agreement with something Hitler was recorded as having said or done in the past. We as outsiders did not at first understand the severity of this taboo. If we had, asking to meet this fella, who was enshrined in their world religion as a sort of embodiment of evil, is something we'd have thought better of. Upon learning that he was responsible for the systematic slaughter of the ethnic minority we'd identified as the most intellectually gifted among their kind, we offered condemnation for the act on the basis that it represented a dysgenic development for humanity on the whole. That was not what they wanted to hear, so we remained silent on that topic going forward. That would be a recurring theme in our relationship. If it made humans unhappy or uncomfortable, it was to be treated as if it was untrue, and never mentioned unless absolutely necessary. They're very fragile by comparison to us, in more than the physical sense of the word. Was there ever any sort of movement that protested the breeding of Glornoks, or the role that you put them into? Surely growing up with them as playmates, some of you would empathize with them and feel it was wrong to relegate them to being educational tools. Are there no useful jobs they could perform? Have they no relevant insights to consider? I knew better than to honk out loud, content instead to honk inwardly until I could regain composure. Thankfully, this reaction wasn't outwardly discernible. We have a rich inner life humans don't seem aware of. For about the same amount of time that humans spend sleeping, we silently reflect. This is another difficult concept for them. It does superficially resemble sleep, but we're conscious for the duration and only become properly unconscious by human definition when recovering from severe injuries. The process of inward exploration and dialogue between the different layers of the brain which humans consume various psychedelic substances to achieve is a capability we've been gifted with by evolution, no drugs required. So for 5 hours between shifts, I would strap into my slumber harness and float contentedly while my mind left my body behind, becoming lost in itself. It was during the most recent dormant period, meditation perhaps being a more accurate English word for our equivalent of sleep, that I realized the root cause of my frustrations with Julia. It isn't her lack of proficiency, but her inability to recognize that lack of proficiency and the inconvenience that it causes me. There's also the near certainty that if confronted with it, her reaction would be some mixture of resentment and denial rather than the appropriate apologetic format. She's intelligent enough to see our technology and infer from it that a gulf in intellectual ability exists between us, but at the same time she's indoctrinated with a belief system that conceives of intelligence as something coincidental or illusory, impossible to measure and varying randomly by individual rather than being a hereditary quality. She had, in our introductory conversation, opined that we should get along well, as the distinction between our species and another is, after all, a social construct. I thought, at first, it was a self-deprecating joke. It would take me several days to fully recover from the shock of learning that she had been absolutely sincere in saying that. As a thought experiment, I sometimes try to mount a defense of her idea that there exists no genetic basis for intelligence, and that it is by complete coincidence that my kind traverses the galaxy in gargantuan starships, while the greatest accomplishment humanity could boast when we found them was to have established a single room dwelling on Earth's only natural satellite. This is what they call playing the devil's advocate. I'm sincere in my efforts, but as yet I've come up with no way to justify her assumptions except by the most extreme solipsism. This is something she surprisingly agreed to when asked. It turns out that reason and evidence-based thinking, which they call empiricism, is something she believes to have been invented by the males of Northern European descent for the express purpose of justifying the oppression of other regionally adapted human varieties. This seemed a remarkably defensible position to take, as any attempt to refute it would rely on evidence and reason, methods already ruled out as invalid and oppressive by her premise. It was very much like challenging a broodmate to grapple on the condition that he not use any of his limbs, then declaring yourself the undefeated champion of that highly specific, carefully contrived sport. This was lost on her, and attempts to explain why were among the conversations she'd recorded and forwarded to her superiors, describing them as problematic. They certainly do seem problematic, but only for one of us. That was, in fact, the basis for the last, most recent war before my kind began our unified expansion into space. I cannot pronounce in a way you'll be able to hear or vocally reproduce, so for your ease, Let's agree to call them Agradians. They were very much like you ideologically and intimately allied with another subspecies we'll call Hythusians. Hythusians were, in an evolutionary sense, the most distant from us and closely resembled the ancestral animal that we engineered Glornox from. Their existence was itself a refutation of the Agradian philosophy of absolute biological equality. But that philosophy did not permit them to annihilate the Hythusians, which would have been the simplest way to dispose of the most obvious disproof of their worldview. So they instead embraced them and agitated them against us, saying that we'd invented the metrics by which they were judged deficient, in the belief that if they were empowered by an ideology that put them on equal standing with us, they'd be able to perform at our level. Julia was visibly enraptured by all this. So did they? Despite myself, I broke into loud, prolonged honking. No, Julia, they're extinct. Just as your early ideas concerning the central importance of your planet and your species did not actually change the structure of the universe, Hythusians believing themselves our equals did not make it so. They were encouraged to apply to any position in our society they liked, and everywhere that they failed the most basic entrance tests, they blamed institutional bigotry. That accusation is more powerful for your species than ours, because for us it has to be substantiated with evidence before anybody will take it seriously. Otherwise, it's understood for what it is, the resentful demand of the last contestant to finish a race, that the winner hand over his trophy. She appeared troubled and began to speak before resigning herself to quiet contemplation. I knew she would report this conversation. I have not said anything which degrades humans outright, but even she would be able to reason that Hythusians were substantially more intelligent than even the brightest human, along with what that implies about our working relationship. She remarked before that nothing I said to her was beyond her understanding, and that so far she could tell there was little difference between us in terms of raw competence and reasoning ability. I brought up the table projector and the definition for the Dunning-Kruger effect in an attempt to explain to her that inability to pick up on additional layers of meaning in my statements gave her an illusory sense of complete comprehension. This too upset her and was therefore untrue in her estimation. There was almost nothing I could say on the matter that wouldn't disturb her, and thus be swiftly and deliberately forgotten as a result. The only time she inquired as to the hypothetical possibility of romantic involvement between their species I found I could not give any answer that wouldn't violate the implicit assumption that our species are in all ways equivalent. After a while, she intuited why I wasn't responding and lectured me for it. I next attempted to express it to her by designing a simplified facsimile of the puzzles I enjoyed alongside Glornox back in the mud pits. I set before her 2 tablets, each depicting the same size squares, subdivided into a grid composed of different numbers of smaller squares. The first was 3 by 3, for a total of 9 indivisible square units, and the second was 2 by 2. She immediately picked up on what I was getting at with this, to a point. The first one is 11, she said, because the grid itself is a square and so is the tablet it's on. The second is 6 for the same reason. She beamed, anticipating praise. I waited for her to reconsider, and, sensing something was amiss, she looked troubled and returned her attention to the puzzle. Aha! Ecstatic once more, she amended her answer. The first was now 15 when one included clusters of 4 individual squares, each of which shared the central square, as squares unto themselves. Again she waited. Well, that is the answer a Glornock would give. She deflated. I explained that the apparent point of the puzzle was to gauge the taker's ability to infer the author's criteria for what constituted a square, and she nodded eagerly, still wondering how her answer could possibly be wrong. I went on to point out that while the 3 by 3 grid left this unanswered, as one could make equally valid arguments for 11 or 15, the second grid was unambiguous and therefore a better designed version of the puzzle. A youngling of my species would analyze the puzzle under the assumption that the adult who designed it was much more intelligent, so a flaw in the design of the puzzle so glaring that a child could see it would immediately alert them that there's more to it than they were told going in. It's not something that they could resist pointing out and asking for clarification on. That objection itself is the correct solution. She protested that it was obvious, which things tend to be after a thorough explanation, that it was unfair, culturally biased, and a trick question. I offered in response that hers is always the reaction to intelligence tests from those who fail them. Besides, that's not even the real format, I sighed. I couldn't explain the principle without conceptually simplifying it for you. The actual puzzle tasks one with recognizing a mathematically significant pattern of imperfections in a 3D lattice of tessellated tetrahedrons. Until now, I didn't know she could frown any harder. There are many academics among humanity who, after reviewing our cultural ideology, concluded that we never should have contacted them. So invested were they in the fantasy of an alien race descending from the heavens to vindicate their recent cultural revolution that upon being flatly contradicted, some told us to keep moving. Presumably they hoped that the next species to stumble across Earth would more closely reflect their values, but they sorely needed our technology and were desperately lonely to the point of neurosis. So we arrived at this uneasy truce, whereby we were expected to deal very gingerly with them while affirming their ideals, or refraining from judgment entirely, and we endure this arrangement without ever being clear on what we get out of it. At least I'm not clear on it. She benefits tremendously, while I must constantly struggle to compensate for her deficiencies, so she never becomes uncomfortably aware of them, and I have to pretend this isn't occurring, as if I'm oblivious to it as she is. In retrospect, I was all wrong for this job from the start. I didn't know that about myself going in, or I would have forfeited the position to someone more patient. Today would be the day that I finally collapsed under the burden. I was retreating into myself while Julia lectured me on how wrong we'd been to annihilate the Hythusians, and how there were suitable labor roles that we should have included Glornox in, even though those positions had already been automated for hundreds of solar years by the time I was birthed, and so on and so forth. A human who identifies non-judgmentality as her most treasured quality, standing in moral judgment of a culture which, despite her incredibly efficient technology, releases more energy as incidental waste heat than the total generating capacity of her planet. An absurdity. A carnival of retardation that I couldn't participate in for even a minute longer. Now you listen to me. If your way were better, you would have accomplished more. You haven't even put a manned outpost on Mars, and why would you? Your educational institutions offer entire degree programs for the exhaustive study of hurt feelings. You never grew thicker skin, but researched instead how much thinner you could make it, and how to remove sharp corners from your world so the consequences of that paper-thin epidermis never manifest. Meeting us, glimpsing what you might have become, should have confronted you with the destructive nature of your self-indulgent weakness and the existence of an objective better and worse. You can continue to fetishize disability as diversity, making long lists of the ways in which you're disadvantaged as if those are accomplishments, but that brings humanity no closer to the stars. As an outsider, I feel embarrassed for you. Even the worst of my kind is superior to you by any criteria you care to devise, and I offer no apology for stating that self-evident truth. You came to this station aboard a vessel of our design. You perform unnecessary ceremonial labor, wearing a constrictive polymorphic EV suit we engineered for your comfort and convenience. All so that you can feel included in the affairs of a genuine spacefaring species that relates to you in the same way that you relate to your cat. I'm not your equal, Julia. You are a Glornock that doesn't know it's a Glornock, and for the last year, the two of us have been playing in the mud. I received an exasperated message from the Overwatch officer who originally stationed me here, explaining that while my grievances are understandable, I've proven unable to succeed in the required capacity. Of course, I know exactly what that capacity is now, much more so than when I began, so I couldn't help but agree. Several equally ranked officers transmitted low resonating hums of agreement, to which I added my own. Friendship Station is expected to be complete 22 solar years from now, the punchline to the longest, grandest, and most expensive joke ever told. One I can only now openly honk about. In spite of her various irritations, Julia has grown on me over the course of my now terminated assignment, so I left some parting gifts in her locker. A plush Glornock and a gift-wrapped banana. There, that's the story. What'd you think? All two of you. Fun story? Good time? Oh no. Not fun for humans, maybe. Oh, no audio. Oh, there we go. Hydra? Strider? Short Talk? Anyone? Do you like the story? Oh, two of you joined apparently just now. Probably came back after the story. That's an interesting take on it. How do you mean, Starter? I mean, it should be. I am Western, but what do you mean? Expound on it. Oh, it's an elf. This may be out of pocket, but do you think Santa ever fucks the elves? I mean, he's got Mrs. Claus, but he's also got the elves, and they're immortal.
Much to discuss.
Are they harem? You think he's getting sloppy toppy from the attractive girl
The
elves?
name's Don Nevakari. I have temporarily relieved Mr. Nicholas of his obligations.
It's like asking a Tarzan clapped gorilla cheeks before he met Jane.
You see, Mr. Elf, the word on the street is that not all of Mr. Nicholas's elves has been honest with his family. Somebody's got to pick up the slack, you understand?
Oh, cool effect on the eyes.
Good.
Do you like the
got a
reversal of
little job
expectations
for a
of
little man.
where the aliens
The
were
Galito
conservatives?
family has been
'Cause
encroaching
it seems
on Santa's
so commonly
industries,
assumed in fiction
thinking
because
they
the
own the
authors were
place.
left-leaning, that aliens being
I
more
say we
intelligent
send
would
them
also
a
be
message,
left-leaning.
capiche? And that's in
It seems
addition
equally
to
plausible
your
that there
normal
are
duties to
zero-sum,
Mr. Nicholas. Now I've also enlisted the help of the lovely
amoral,
Miss Althea,
Randian aliens too.
who has so graciously
Like that.
offered her
You can't tell me
support
Santa
in my
never
time of
got busy
need.
with
I
elves
hope
like
you
that
won't
one.
disappoint her or myself. So get to it.
They look like midgets, but they're like 1,000 years old, so it's like anime waifus. I'm gonna try this again. Now the controller's turned on. There, now it works. I gotta sit through this. There we go. So it uses the shoulder buttons. Is that your only commentary? Did you like the premise? Was it were you entertained? Was it funny? Do you like the exploration of different layers of meaning being perceptible to different degrees of intelligence? Left trigger. Alright.
This first job is just a warning. Galito's gang has been sighted as far out as Easy Street. Let him know who owns the place.
3, 2, 1, go!
It's harder than it looks. I thought you had to hit the monsters. Carolers. Okay, one trigger throws peasants, the other throws rocks.
Why?
It's a game. I'm thinking of retconning it also so that the aliens from this story are the same ones from the end of Triangle Opportunity. Interesting controls. Can't say I've ever played anything like this. It's almost like Panzer Dragoon. So it's not auto-scrolling. Missed it. I almost got it.
Three, two, one, go!
Yo, schmuck.
I'll take care of one side of the street first.
Ow, my eyeball!
What was that?
I've been hit!
I see, so it forces you to divide your attention. Why did that not work? He runs bipedally. Fuck.
Sorry, boss.
Sorry, boss. I'm getting better. How am I fucking up so bad? I gotta.
2.
My strat this time will be focused on one side at a time.
Three, 2, 1, go.
Left triggers presence. Right triggers coal. What the fuck, man? Fuck. Fuck! Gotcha. I missed one guy, didn't I? I'll try to do both the right side and the guy. Fuck. It's harder than it looks. Damn it. Doesn't always work either.
I've been in.
What am I missing? What am I missing? You don't see many Christmas games, do you? Not any good ones. When has there been a killer app that was a Christmas game?
All right.
Me too, but how many are there? Have you thought about that? When has there been a truly great Christmas game except for Christmas nights? On Christmas, I'm totally streaming Christmas nights, by the way. It's a tradition.
Your next job involves letting Galitos ghouls know they ain't welcome in Santa's suburbs. Make sure they get the message.
Sounds like video game donkey.
3, 2, 1, go.
Isn't that the same mission as last time? It seems to be the best way to do it. Gotcha. Once you get the hang of it, it's fun. Gotcha. Son of a bitch. Trying to hide inside a snowman. Ow, my eyeball! That's uncomfortably specific. Why is it so specific?
Alright.
That's the way to do it.
You have done well by me thus far, Mr. Elfie. Finish this last job and you're a made man. Elfina...
You're a
and
made
Mr.
man.
Nicholas walk free. Galito's been running scams out by Aurora Lake. Put a stop to them, but watch the shadows. Word on the street is there's something under that lake that don't like to be bothered.
A sea monster. Really?
2, 1, go!
Did we get hit? We got hit. Why? He was literally just skating. Oh, boo. At the end, I gotta focus on left side again. Fuck you, polar bear. I'm fucking up. This one's tough.
Why?
Hoof it! Hoof it! Faster, faster, you fool, you fool! What? No! How did I miss that? Fuck you, polar bear. Oh.
All right.
Here we go. I was gonna take a short detour to bonk another polar bear, but I'm not that much of a hater. Not quite that much.
3, 2, 1, go.
We're doing drive-bys, aren't we?
Sorry, boss. Why? I've been hit.
It's the hardest one yet. As I suppose I should expect it to be. As I suppose I should expect it to be. Fuck.
No.
Hang on. I gotta focus.
2, 1, go.
I didn't know they'd be inside. Fuck.
3, 2, 1, go.
Yo, schmuck. Sorry, boss. Yo, schmuck. I've been hit.
Almost. Why can't I go backwards?
Taxi.
My eyeball! Right, left again. No! Fuck!
3, 2, 1, go!
Right is rock.
Ooh. Sorry, boss. Ow. I've been hit.
This is a pretty good Christmas game, actually. It's got presents, it's got coal.
Taxi. Why are you Yo! Just please. I've been in. Yo, schmuck.
That's better. I'm doing better now. What's good? Just Christmas stuff, you know. How about you?
Yo! Ooh. I've been hit. Yo!
Anybody else?
Sorry, boss. Taxi. I've been hit. Yo, schmuck. Sorry, boss.
All right.
Fuck you. How does this look like North Korea? I want to say we rescued Elfina. There wasn't an ending though. Where was the ending? Where was the ending? We didn't get Sloppy Toppy from Elfina. That's such a stereotypical name though, Elfie and Elfina. I feel like that's insensitive. Sorry about the break from Under the Waves. It's got to be this way though. Oh, it's like Mist. Oh, it's a Mist-like. Okay. It's got video. Fancy. Come on. How not? It's not that big of an environment. I'm doing something wrong. I'm not feeling this one. You missed story time, Get Booped. We heard a fun sci-fi story about space chuds. What the fuck? Oh shit. Guess that's not good. What happened? If I push A, he goes all the way to the left. What am I supposed to do here? I don't get it. Running into either one of them kills me. Oh, it's depending on the color of my headlights. Which is what the button does. I got way more points for the red ones. I need to do it once. Pro strats. It's as easy as or as hard as you want it to be. Until you do that. Somewhat amusing, I guess. Any all traveling for Christmas? No controller support, huh? Santa is dead. Santa does die. Why? When? The source of his power has been stolen. Everyone wants to steal it back for their own purposes. Magical Foundation. Bloom, a young adventurer, is decided to steal the hat with the intention of being the greatest hero of all time. Ah, it's painfully loud. He died. How'd I die? Why I die? No jump button. You know, one of my coziest Christmas memories was playing a rented copy of Diddy Kong Racing, I mean. It has a Christmas level. A snow level with little villages and whatnot. Waiting for Christmas dinner to be done. Succeed. Says Bloom tried to touch the hat. Snow the bounty hunter was also here to steal the hat and hide it. Is this an anime battle? Both of them looked at each other. Out of nowhere. Giant snowball was about to hit them both. Snow got distracted by this and Bloom disappeared with the hat. The Snow has to run away. Oh no. The giant snowball. It's just Indiana Jones. It's Crash Bandicoot. Sure enough. I don't know why I doubted it. Is there anywhere else to go? Push the button which made the ground open up. As soon as... Such a basic game. Interesting graphic design though. Jennifer? Why are there anime girls everywhere? From inside the snowball. She's there to get back Santa's hat. It's a falling level. Fuck. That's unexpectedly gory. Daddy. Oh fuck. Come on, come on! We landed in the snow. Good. We're lost. The hat was lost and Bloom was trapped. We're stuck underground now. Yes, I'm glad there was warning. Nope, dead. Do they need to animate all the deaths? Does that need to be that graphic? This is just like 1,000 ways for anime girls to die. Actually, that's kind of based. Nope, again. Right in the brain. Really? It's that touchy, huh? Cool music. By the way, there's a sale on the Atari VCS if anyone wants one. It's $180 now until end of December. Which is about what I got it for too on eBay. You can get one brand new though. Really? Come on. Come on! I'm invested in this now. It's just really hard to to determine where the edges of the spikes are. There's like a line on the floor. Fuck this. I don't care anymore. That one was shit anyway. Sorry to the author. Ooh, pretty! Oh, there's Roddy too. Disgusting. That's a bit rude. Gifty's taken over the train. So far they've been good. I'm so nervous. This must be by the author of the Madvent front end. Did I get hit by cars? Evidently not. Can I explore the entire city? Nothing stops me from exploring this entire city. What am I supposed to do? This city is a lot more hostile than I remember. I guess morning folk take after their creator. What? It's amazing how portable games are now. Go away. I'm stuck. Oh, I'm stuck on the tracks now. Fun. The end can't come soon enough. Boy, I heard that, brother. The bones in my body don't belong to me. A common problem in our fast-paced modern times. Have you seen my daughter? Oh, and OnlyFans. Have you? Duke Spookum! I'm gonna miss this city. He's got the tumbler nose. Now what have they done to you, my boy? My beautiful boy. But there are invisible walls eventually. Look at the pretty snow. It's so well done. Video game snow doesn't always look good. I forget what I'm supposed to be doing. She's kawaii. I wish she didn't have a male voice. Then again, these days, that's how it goes with virtual women. She's tired of being you. Every day. Let me tell you, it never ends. Though I guess it will eventually. I'm gonna leave you with this ambiance while I go take a piss and a shit. Because this is frankly pretty cozy. I'm back, baby. I don't know for how long. Oh, whoa. Aiming with a trackball is funky. Like I said yesterday, it's really better with a big trackball because it has momentum. Oh, it's just an intermission. Cat, are you fucking kidding me right now? Cat? Meow. You little sissy. Get down. Get down. I have no idea what's happening. What's happening on the screen? There's a cat in the way. You're standing right in the way, cat. Cat! Get down. I don't want to shout at you. I'm sorry. Hang on, I still can't do anything because the cat has not hunkered down yet. There we go. Time for cat cam. Yuletide machine. Just what sort of machine are we talking about?
Christmas is nearly here.
God,
and
my
Santa's
asshole hurts.
delivering presents into the
I had
home.
flaming
As
hot
families
Doritos
share
earlier.
stories and warm cookies, a few children manage to catch a glimpse of Santa's sled, the beautiful reindeer pulling it.
Fuck.
But the reindeer aren't real. They're puppets, a mere figment of the children's imagination. Underneath the bonnet of Santa's sled is a custom rotary engine. The violent racket muffles out the chime of the jingle bells as if the machine is trying to claw its way out of the engine compartment.
Meow! Base Giga Chat Santa.
Santa's running out of fuel. The elves
So
down
this
at the
animatronic deer?
propellant facility better have some fuel ready before Santa arrives.
Guess that explains how fast he is. Oh wow, that is shit sensitivity. Oh, it's really laggy too. Is this by who I think it is? The guy who did that through the wall game? What have I picked up? What is any of this? What have I picked up? I can't see the cat's in the way. There's a cat head in front of the word. H-duty dick? H-duty fuck? Something CK. When she's done licking herself, I'll be able to tell you what it says on the package. I can't read that because I picked up an object. Hang on, I gotta restart. I'm not feeling that one actually. I can't. Unreal is being unreal. Can't read it. Cat in the way. Cat, that's not a good place for you to be. Your head and limbs and such are something or other. I can't see what to click on. There's a cat in the way. Oh, here it is. Cat, do you mind? Could you lay down? Hunker down. There you go. That's a good girl. Something about tongue. Iris can't get you down here. Actually, probably can. Everybody. It's a Bob Ross. I've seen him down here. Good time. He's great. From freezing, everyone has to have a person or persons to spend the night with. Infernal polycule takes all coomers. Takes all coomers. Works for me. So this is what, a dating sim? I want to use my gamepad for this. Can I? Yes, I can. Kind of. There's no camera control. God, this is the slowest run animation I've ever seen. I cannot rotate the camera either. Sexy ghost? No. Who's this? Okay, that doesn't work. Something about Trickster. Colt 45. Aha. So you can get a gun. I'm a little Dio de los Muertos fella. I'm just a fella, look at me. Wow, this sucks, actually. Unbelievably good. What do you think of my cute kitty cat? It's true. I'm not joking. You can, in some states, receive a free firearm with the purchase of a truck. That's a real thing. I don't know why you'd want to, because you don't get to choose what gun it is. I feel like if I was going to choose a gun, I'd be very particular about what gun it was. I wouldn't just want whatever gun happens to be bundled with my truck. Secret States of America. Northwest Carolina, Arkansas. Arkansas is a vibe. That should be real. Wyoming, I like also. Iowa. I think Iowa's one of the real ones. I'm not sure. You want to be gay skeletons with this guy? Lorenzo. Dead recently. Oh no. Confident and outgoing. Afraid of snakes and snake people. Confident and outgoing, but not a snake person. marked worms. Horses descriptions. Just describe descriptions of horses. I'm a freaking rat. Do you make all the rules? You can't take it with you, but you can. It's totally worthless. I'm trying to use it as insulation. Kindling. I like the humor. Come across a giant hot air balloon. Alright, fair enough. Little cat, what the fuck are you doing? You're upside down. I'm gonna pet your tum-tum. You're inviting me to pet this tum-tum you're showing off? And you gonna make biscuits out of my arm? You're so silly. Look at you. Look at the state of you. Where's your dignity? Begging for belly rubs. Hello, my little friend. How dearly I love you. How important you are to me. Oh, it's a Cthulhu lady. Philomena. Would she be considered a snake person? Lorenzo, that was easy. Girl sees what she wants. She wants what she sees and sees what she wants. Suspicious fan fiction sites. Oh, we're in hell. And my boss. It's funny, at least. Little kitten cat. My goodness, what am I gonna do with you? Exciting venues. What is this? How do I access my inventory? How do I access my inventory? Oh, there's someone in there. Inaccessible inventory. Boo. Who's this waifu? Who's this semen demon? You did it all. This hints to beat the game. Maybe in the car. Oh. That wasn't helpful in the least. This is just a hell of a boss, isn't it? Or Whatever the hotel one was. Look at this Chad. Look at Big Washington. Greetings, fellow member of the glorious American Empire. I'm Big Washington. That's just a tiny baby man. Government types. Confident. Do not like confident people. Oh, it's one of these people. Looking for $1. It's down here. Why is the trapdoor bumping? What a shitty hell. I'm not saying something. I can just walk other ghosts. I can go through them. Why is there a nightclub line for... Oh, I see. It's not what I thought it was. Susan Car Bomb. Come here, cat. Get in my lap. Get in my lap. Oh, no. Okay. Time for Cat Cam to turn off. Why is this on Unreal? That's your problem. Xiphoid process. That was the bestest. I see, so that's what it is. I'm not sure about this one. So how do I matchmake them? I think I've had enough. Interesting, I'm not really that invested in it though. I'm not really sure what to say about it. Seems like some shit someone from Tumblr would make. Fuck, I'm hungry lately. I guess I'm getting ready to hibernate. Do they celebrate Christmas in Singapore, I wonder? I know they do in Japan. wake up, wait. I get it. Stop it. Wow. Wow, that is bad. There's no way to adjust the... And it's frozen. Sensitivity. Did the world end while I was sleeping? Oh, it's, no, wait. We're in Antarctica, aren't we? No, there's trees. This can't be Antarctica. You fix the generator. Yeah, I get it. Stop it. Stop it! I want to freeze. I've had nightmares like this where my cat dies because I couldn't keep it warm. It has to be destroyed. Brought out. Very nice. How much? One of those light sticks I hear so much about. Just a stick of light. Oh, I got a flashlight, thank God. Where are we? Should be doing this. Set up shop at the other place. So some guy fucked up our whole research outpost. Why are there walls? Oh, there's a spook man. Oh, he's a ghostly spook man. It happens. That's comforting somehow that Christmas is celebrated commonly around the world. Superman, quit fucking faking me out. Come fuck me or fuck off. I don't do suspense. A Minecraft polar base here. Maybe one of the parts is inside. It's got the snow walking sound indoors. People who are against AI game generation, you want to tell me AI couldn't make a game at least this good? The computer. Our whole base is just some cabinets and a computer. We got no windows. Why don't we have windows? This is like what the average Quake 2 level was like in 1997. Lots of colored lighting, really basic geometry, misaligned textures. There was so much trash. I guess it's just the shovelware principle. There's always more trash than good stuff, but Quake 2 levels were uniquely garish when done badly. It wasn't really hard. Wasn't really easy to make something good looking in that engine in the first place. Yeah, can't make words tonight. Is that a floating rock? That's not allowed. Why is that allowed? Is that a floating tree? Is that an accident, or... Can I get up on top of the structure? It looks as if I can. Almost. Not quite. Can I jump? I can't jump. So be it. Nope, not this way. Invisible wall, finally. Why bother having invisible walls when your whole game is set inside of giant walls in the first place? Wait, what's this? Now take them. See you soon, Carl. Is that what Barat did? Barat ate the drugs? Is this a drug smuggling base on the Canadian border? That'd make a lot more sense. Take the drugs. Kids at home watching this, if you ever find drugs lying around, take them. Drugs are expensive. That's an opportunity. Oh, baby. This isn't quite what it's like, though. This is good shit, too. And now we're going to die if we don't get the heat on. This is probably the worst situation in which to get turned. In a life or death situation where you really need your wits about you, you definitely don't want to just take mushrooms. Like that guy who took mushrooms on an airplane and ruined his whole life. Poor bastard. You hear about that? There's a co-assistant or like a co-pilot or someone who took mushrooms and lost his shit. And now he's got a prison sentence and he's prohibited from performing that job for the rest of his life. Which I guess makes sense. But it's really sad because he was depressed and he was using mushrooms to treat depression, and now this is going to make his depression worse, not better. Show yourself! Let's compare dicks. Let's charge our geo crystals together. What if I turned a corner in this game and there was that guy from that one gay porn who's like, sorry for what? Our daddies taught us not to be ashamed of our dicks, especially since they're such good size and all. And then the whole game was just the rest of that porno. Oh shit, I'm sorry. Sorry for what? That lives rent-free in my head full time. Anytime anyone says, I'm sorry, I have to fight every fiber of my being to stop from saying, sorry for what? Our daddies taught us not to be ashamed of our dicks. Especially since they're such good size and all. Sometimes when I pull on it, I rip the skin. Our daddy taught us a way to pull on it without ripping the skin. By using your mouth instead of your hand. Really? Would you show me? I'd be right happy to. The internet has ruined my mind. There wasn't much there to ruin in the first place, frankly. Been that way, I've been that way. Let's go around this way and see if we missed anything. Let's really try to not die. I'm gonna be emotionally tender from taking these psychedelics. That's a nightmare scenario, being in a life or death situation in the wilderness and you're high off your tits. That happened to me once, it was traumatizing. I couldn't find my car as the sun went down. So I had to finally use the emergency stuff I put in my backpack in preparation for just such a scenario, including my Mylar emergency blanket, which is more like a sleeping bag, and then try to stay warm all night, which I mostly did because outside a hand warmer. Actually worked really well, but I was scared. And then the next morning when the sun came up, the car was like less than 100 feet away on the other side of some trees. So I never needed to stay there all night. I wouldn't want to do that again, though. I'm glad I had that stuff. That's what really got me passionate about prepping. But not the way preppers prep. Like, I don't expect the world to end or government to collapse. I just prep so if I fuck up too badly and get stranded someplace that it's not totally miserable. And I can get back to civilization. Like, I always have a way to charge my phone. I always have a way to purify water. I always have a way to stay warm. I always have a jug of water on me in the car. I always have a solar panel to charge the batteries with. Why did I take those drugs? Why did I do that? Am I even really repairing the generator, or do I just believe I am? Oh, well now. More failure. Local intelligence run background and develop scans. Ends. Thanks for playing. That was it?
Was a night during Madvent, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. But who cares for these fools? We've heard it all before. No, this little tale takes us somewhere with a different decor. Down far below, to the very gates of the hells.
Fucking radical. That really should be melting. Is Satan an anime girl? Satan is an anime girl, but Animal Crossing style. Is that a fucking... is that a Nintendo Wii? That is what they would have in hell. That checks out, actually. Everyone has their own housing and lives independently in hell. That's not that bad. You could clean up these bones, you know. It's like in Fallout. Nothing stops them from cleaning up their colonies. Get shoveling. I don't think I will. Come on, come on. Ogre. I don't want a boss. It's not the same. Not the same. See the ogres that sexual wheels. He's around. Why are we anime? Oh, so she's kind of a baddie. Torture Depot. That was a bit on the nose. So C++. That's way too extreme. Oh yes, they'll force them to wear sweaters. The Wilhelm scream. The outfit's perfect. Yet more baddies. So I'm someone important apparently. $100% of 40% off. Wouldn't that just be 40%? Can I go in these houses? I can't. Wait a minute. Nope. Oh, you're back. You're supposed to wear them? You sure? This feeling, oh so cozy and yet oh so itchy. This is suffering. I'm invigorated. Christmas sweaters. Perfect. I like this game. This is a good Christmas game. Why are we beautiful anime twinks? I like their fashion though. It's like Batman sweaters. Smell it. Not the breath of smell, folk. Snow. So we gotta torture them too, huh? Strange garden melts wetly. This looks like Minecraft hell. Mow the lawn. Why does it look so happy? Scared for smiling. They're sickos. I love it. Who knows what will happen next? This is so sweet. I got the VN. They're just gathering dust. Big raid coming out. What is this? What is this? Is delightful. Look at this suffering center in the back with the little flamingo floaty. It's a nightmare. Look at them. Quit having fun. You're meant to be burning alive for eternity. Ah, yippee yay yay. Damn fire imps. The snow got in here and frozen into cubes. Cooling the pools to tropically temperate dip on my watch. How do I push? How do I push the cubes? Oh, there we go. There we go. So the imps should clear up the smokestacks, right? I like the vibe. The look is reminiscent of something that would run on like a Voodoo too. Frozen Angel Tears. Pretty cool. I mean, it is literally. Can I take anything from here? Am I doing something wrong? I'm not doing it right, am I? I have to do this again, don't I? I did this already. That's a glitch. That's not supposed to be that way. Oh, it reset everything. Fuck. Wish I hadn't done that. Now they're all frozen again. Is that just the end of the demo? Was it meant to move on after that? Oh, I see. Alright. Return to Minister. Trader. I don't know what the fuck I did, but apparently it worked. I fucked up the order somehow. A sequence broke. Maybe the devil will see this. Good. Huh. There's a lot of content in this. We're not making through it all tonight. That's fine though, we can do Under the Waves some other night. We've done plenty of it so far. We've done plenty of Under the Waves. Oh, it's one of these. What a classic horror game start this is. Interesting 50s car. Why didn't I just get back in my car? Why would I ever get out of my car? Why did I not have a flashlight? Okay, an invisible wall. Evidently that's not where I'm supposed to go. You ever feel the call of the void when you're driving along a wooded area at night and you want to stop the car for some reason and get out and explore the woods? Does that happen to you? Is that just me? In space? It's Fallout spaceships, though. Somehow they have gravity. Ukraine invasion. They're having an eyeball at machine guns. That's funny. I mean, that's tragic, but that it would get to that point. I've read that huge numbers of war-aged males are just escaping Ukraine by any means necessary. Seems now that their fate is sealed, but they're continuing to fight. I remember seeing someone's post on Twitter where they actually did that. They actually did go out into the woods at night and they walked barefoot in a stream as a cry for help. That seems incredibly appealing and tantalizing to me. What am I doing here? It's open, why can't I go into it? I can't figure this one out. Don't forget to suit up. I need my spacesuit first. I don't see a spacesuit. Neither of the doors open. I can't break that. E does nothing. Left click does nothing. Space jumps. The console does nothing. C does not crouch. Left control does not crouch. Clicking on this does nothing. E does nothing. Looks like there's a lot more game here, but I can't figure out how to get out of this room. Get a beverage. What is this? I can't do this forever. Sorry, that one doesn't work. I don't know why it doesn't work. That's right, I'll be done with the 8-bit era by this thing next year. To be out of the city. Fair enough. Still see Spook City glow. I wonder how far we have to go to escape it. Damn, imagine how hard his nipples are in this kind of weather. We'll be back soon. Oh, look at the squirrels. Little fellows. Is that cabin accessible? You're trespassing. Yes, I am. What are you going to do about it, big man? spoops have to say. That's what Christian is. Oh, it's like it is like an advent calendar. Doesn't let you see first. I like the variety. If you don't like one, you can immediately move on to the next. Oh, this is one of those online things. We left our mark on the world. For good or for ill, it remains to be seen. What's happening here? Look at that warping. Ooh, that's nasty. You know, Jaguar didn't have texture warping. How come fucking Jaguar can keep texture straight, but PlayStation couldn't? Right, everything looks good. All the emitters are running. It's extreme warping. Okay, so the initiative for this year, it's going to be your job to awaken Christmas. 4 specters of the Christmas will incarnate here. So you defeat them, the spirits will return to those sconces. Defeat all 4 and the door will open to you. See the bell? Shit, it's the fan, we'll let you know. I'm gonna whack it. She's gonna whack it. And I just listen to the bell. We'll let you know. What's my weapon? What weapon do I have? I have extremely low mouse. What's happening on the floor? Why is it like that? It was never this bad. Fucking Zoomers. Listen to me, Zoomers. Go emulate PlayStation. You'll see it was never this bad. You don't have to turn it up this far. Just be like, look, it's PlayStation. It's making me sick. What's that for? Oh, I can't look at this. This is me. Look at the fence. Holy shit. Oh, no. No, no, no. Even Nintendo DS had warping correction. Fuck, that's awful. Oh, I can't look at... Oh, man. Nothing makes me motion sick. But, at least until now. Why's my health going down? Can't figure this one out. Santa's summoning a spirit bomb. Dang old boy ain't right. I'm gonna do it, Dad. I'm gonna summon spirit bomb. No, Bobby. That's too powerful. You don't have high enough level. Well, that boy ain't right. I'm doing it, Dad. There goes Bobby again, charging the spirit bomb. I need to practice more impersonations of it. This fucking sucks. Something falling from the sky? Are these ashes? Are we outside of Auschwitz? Something burning? I don't think so. They're cold. It's the end. It's here. Let's calm down. I think we'll be just fine. Something you need to do for me and for yourself. Go ahead and do it. Get it done. I'll crank my hog. Way ahead of you. 2 days remain until the burial. Morning. Save the children. What children? The world is ending. So I keep hearing. Gamepad does not appear to be supported. Looks like a PS1 RPG. Saul and Eris pray for all the damage these ashes might cause. I don't think there's ashes. I think it's just snow. This looks a lot like Star Ocean or something, doesn't it? For my friend. I don't think there's anything I can do with these ashes. That goes on. Isn't it funny how way back in the day it had this visual style because this is what they could do with pre-rendered graphics at TV resolution, but now it's actually easier just to render everything in real time than it is to try to make a pre-rendered background and sort all the layers. What a reversal. I mean, it would have been an unthinkable joke in 1996 if you told them that in the future it would be easier than pre-rendering a background like this and having all the layers sorted so you could walk behind stuff and shadows work correctly than to just fucking actually render everything in real-time polygons. But that's true of a lot of things, I guess, if you can afford to brute force it. Brute forcing is always easier if you can afford to. So we're inside of an atom. Interesting. Wish I could tell what the fuck's happening. Well, are we post-humans? So big since last time you saw being tall and fat. I went too much space. Spent too much on our food. Mushroom princess. Go work for it. That's not nice. Can't say the same about her mother. Wouldn't believe what I've heard about her. Repulsive. That's not very community-minded of you. Wait, what? There's sewers? I have the book now. Once I've been talking to strangers, sorry. Probably good advice. Trust you. Was that the right thing to do? Shouldn't I wait? Morally, shouldn't I have given it to the shopkeeper first, since it was stolen from him, and then paid a lower price? It would have been the correct thing to do, wouldn't it? Fuck. I wonder if Cosmo will be mad at me. It's an interesting one, isn't it? We're the fractured dreamers. Dreamers, only shifted to feel like my bones. Like the others, the world conspired to make a jest of me. That's a vibe. Close to me. Hey, I got a fucking book for your kid. Oh, this is a different person. They're super fun. Nice. Pushing together then. Orbiting a black hole. Who are these people? They have a water tank. They have a windmill. She's not right. The ashes will never stop falling. Are you afraid of the ashes? It's nothing, don't worry. Aurora loves us. Is that your god? I need to ask you. I think I'm gonna quit early. Hopefully it saves the game. All progress will be lost. Oh fuck no. Well, we can do it over again. I'm gonna quit early tonight so I can go and get some things done that I need to do. Oh, this was a fun time though. Madvent calendar is always a treat. I'm always sorry to see it over. You'd think I'd spend more time with the individual games if that's true, but some of them are stinkers, frankly. That's part of the fun. Is it's a mixture of presents and coal from Santa. You never know which ones are going to be good and which are going to be bad until you try them. It's always a delight to be thrust into the unknown like that, especially when you hit upon a banger that's hiding in the bunch. So that's all for this time. Get at me again on Monday, same ham time, same ham channel at 7 o'clock p.m. West Coast time, 11 o'clock p.m. This is your friendly neighborhood ham dad signing off and returning you to your regularly scheduled sleepy time. And preemptive Merry Christmas. You're going to get a lot of those this coming month. It is even fucking December. It is December. Never mind. I'm full of shit. Happy 1st of December. It's now officially time for that Mariah Carey song to be playing every fucking department store, which started immediately after Thanksgiving. Make merry. That's a ham dad order. And cherish your loved ones and go cuddle your cat and drink some cocoa and eggnog. Thus begins the festive season. I'm sorry to see the spooky season go, but this one's pretty cozy too.